Most IELTS test takers know the ultimate goal: achieve a band 7 or more. When you reach band 7, then opportunities open. You get accepted at an international university. You prove to your employers that you have great English ability, better than other applications. There's no denying that band 7 is kind of like the holy grail of IELTS scores. The problem is, a lot of people don't get that band 7. You've probably seen that there are plenty of videos on YouTube promising you to get band 7, even band 8 or band 9. Be careful of those. I'm afraid there's not going to be an easy answer of just watching a YouTube video and then automatically increasing your score. Anyway, the problem is that most people don't really understand what it means to reach band 7 in IELTS. They go into the test just feeling optimistic and thinking, oh, I'm pretty good at English and I can get the band 7 first try. And then they don't, disappointment hits. You need to understand what a band 7 actually means if you're going to get there. In this video, I'm going to help you with overcoming the band 7 illusion and telling you exactly what the band 7 score actually means. So keep watching this video. You'll have a much better understanding of how you can get your band 7. Hi there, my name's David and I am your IELTS coach. IELTS Breakthrough is a YouTube channel that helps you get a high score in IELTS so that you can study at an international university and progress in your career. This channel is packed with tips and strategies that will work for you. So make sure that you have subscribed and you've got the notification bell on. These are tutorials, information that will have a direct positive improvement on your score, and what's more, it's all completely free here on YouTube. Let's talk about what band 7 actually means then. Here is the main concept, and the main concept behind band 7 is flexibility in English. If you can show flexibility, then you're on your way to band 7. Think of band 7 as representing someone who has above average performance. And this brings me to a little metaphor for understanding band 7. It's a little bit like trying to run 10 kilometers. Now, the bad news is, trying to run 10 kilometers is quite a challenge. Some of you might be runners and can do it, but for most of us, 10 kilometers is a long distance, and having to run that 10 kilometers is going to be difficult. However, the good news is that anyone can run 10 kilometers. Whether you're 18, 28, 38 or 48, you can still do it. Now, of course, in order to run 10 kilometers, you know that you can't just walk out of your house and do the run. You have to build up, you have to use a training program. Maybe you just start extremely small by running 100 or 200 kilometers, running 100 or 200 meters, and then you build up your distance day by day and week by week until you have the strength and stamina to run 10 kilometers. But the fact is that if you have a clear intention to run 10 kilometers, you can do it. And band 7 is a bit like that. Now, in terms of your English performance skills, we can divide two areas that you need to work on. The first area is the foundation skills of English. And then the second area is what I call communication power. Let me explain these for you. The two important foundation skills are, can you guess it? Vocabulary and grammar. And looking at these two skills, they are measured in terms of the range and then the accuracy. So start with vocabulary, and yes, the fact is you do need to increase your range of vocabulary. Knowing English that every English student knows is probably not enough to get you to Band 7. You need to know some interesting vocabulary. Growing your vocabulary is part of the strategy. With grammar, you need to think about the structures that you use. Make sure that you can use complex and simple structures. Make sure that you can write and speak in the past, the present, and the future tense. For the foundation skills, yes, it will take a bit more of a long time. You do need to have your digital flashcards ready, and you do need to repeat grammar exercises until you feel sure that you can express yourself in speaking and writing clearly and accurately and in an interesting way. If we talk about the reading and listening sections of IELTS, then vocabulary and grammar is more about recognizing how the vocabulary and grammar is used and what meaning is being communicated through those structures and those words. And then when we go to speaking and writing, this is more about how you use the grammar and vocabulary. So the foundation skills are perhaps the more longer, harder area to improve on. The second area I've called communication power. Now, what I mean by this is how clearly you can communicate to your examiner. Under communication power, the first thing you need to think about is to show that the examiner that you completely understand what the task is asking of you. It's about answering the question completely and fully and following the instructions properly. If you're doing general training task 1, where you have to write a letter, it means looking at those bullet points and fully following, describing the information that is directed by those bullet points. If you're in task 1 academic, then it means describing all of the data points shown in the graph. In speaking, it means answering the questions completely, not in a kind of off-topic way. That's the first aspect of your communication power. The other aspect is organization, and that is delivering your answer in a clear, structured way, not jumping around. This is especially important with writing and speaking, where in your written answer, it needs to have a structured answer using paragraphs, where paragraphs focus on one topic. With speaking as well, you can't just jump around from one idea to another without showing your examiner how you are connecting your ideas together. The good news is that you can quite easily and quickly improve the way you organize your answers. The next question then is probably, okay, well, that's what Band 7 actually requires. How am I going to get there? Here are a few general tips that you can use. The first thing is make sure that you do focus on the foundation of vocabulary and grammar. So that means grow your vocabulary and practice your grammatical structures in English. Another thing you can do is to study examples. Look at some example answers and then re-engineer, analyze those example answers and see how they are structured, what kind of grammar and vocabulary is used, and then try and create a kind of template that you can use to answer any kind of question. Tip number 3 is to review your work, and especially look at it from the communication power perspective. Think, okay, did I answer the question fully? Did I follow those instructions properly? How well organized is my answer? Remember that you can do this by recording yourself, and of course if it's writing you can just have a night's sleep, read it the next day and look at what you've written from a fresh perspective. And of course we also have AI to help us here, so an AI prompt will help you to get feedback as well. By the way, there are several other videos on using AI to help you with IELTS preparation. Take a look at those if you like. I'll put a card in here. Tip number 4 is a general one, but it's something worth thinking about. And this is the tip where I would suggest that you try to be original and/or interesting. This might sound a bit crazy, but the truth is a lot of test takers kind of just limit themselves to some kind of boring standard answers. Try and think about how you can be more interesting to the examiner, and try and give the examiner information, especially in your writing task 2 and your speaking test. Tell them, show them things that perhaps are surprising or interesting to your examiner. They'll like that, and that will give you a kind of positive feedback on your test. So that's what a Band 7 is all about. Let me just summarize the main points that I've covered in this video. You need to think about the main concept of Band 7, which is showing flexibility. And Band 7 really depends on 2 main areas: the foundation skills of vocabulary and grammar, and then the communication power in terms of how you meet the task requirements and how you organize your answer. There are a few things you can do about this. Number 1, build the foundation. Number 2, reverse engineer from example answers. Number 3, review your own work. And number 4, try to be as interesting and original as possible. There we have it. If you want to know more about Band 7, please ask a question in the comments and I'll do my best to give you the best answer that you can get. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching through to the end of this video. Have a fantastic morning, afternoon, weekend, day, whatever you're doing. I'll see you in the next one.